Hi, welcome back to Hedgie English, and today we're going to start reading a book, a very famous book that I will talk about more in a later video. But today I just want to get into reading it. In general, when I'm looking down, I am reading the text, and when I look up, I will explain something. But that rule might sometimes be broken. So here we go. Let's try to start Grimm's Fairy Tales. Tale number 1, The Golden Bird. And adjust microphone real quick. The Golden Bird. A certain king had a beautiful garden, and in the garden stood a tree which bore golden apples. A certain king. Certain here, kind of stylized way, formal way of saying some king. Some king, specific king, but we don't know about them. One king. It's just fancy. Which bore golden apples. A tree which bore golden apples, which gave golden apples, on which golden apples grew. These apples were always counted, and about the time when they began to grow ripe, it was found that every night one of them was gone. So they always counted the apples to grow about the time they began to grow ripe. To grow ripe, so most fruit, it's unripe, you shouldn't eat it. And it's ripe, it's time to eat, like a banana. We think of green bananas as unripe, usually not ready to eat. Yellow bananas, or more, when they get brown spots, those are ripe, ready to eat. So every night one of the apples were gone. The king became very angry at this, and ordered the gardener to keep watch all night under the tree. The gardener to keep watch. To keep watch is to watch, to see if anything bad is going on, what's happening. The gardener set his eldest son to watch. So the gardener chose his eldest son. But about 12 o'clock he fell asleep, and in the morning another of his apples was missing. Then the second son was ordered to watch. Passive there. Watch. The second son was ordered to watch, and at midnight he too fell asleep, and in the morning another apple was gone. Then the third son offered to keep watch. I'll do it. Offered to keep watch, but the gardener at first would not let him, for fear some harm should come to him. So the gardener wouldn't let him, for fear some harm should come to him. For here means a nice sounding way of because of. For fear, some harm, some damage. Because of the fear, some harm, some damage should come to him. Should, special meaning is might here. Kind of old-fashioned for American English. Normally should is like, you should do this. It's right, it's good. But this, it's more like might. For fear some harm should come to him. However, at last he consented, and the young man laid himself under the tree to watch. He consented. He said, okay. The gardener's third son said, okay. He consented, and he laid himself under the tree. As the clock hit 12, he heard a rustling noise in the air. Rustling is the sound of like walking on dry leaves or grass, the sound of the leaves of the grass. Not best rustling sound, but you get the point. A rustling noise in the air, and a bird came flying that was of pure gold. and as it was snapping at one of the apples with its beak, it just snapped it. Snap. The gardener's son jumped up and shot an arrow at it. But the arrow did the bird no harm. It did the bird no harm. Fancy, old-sounding way of saying the arrow didn't harm the bird. The arrow did the bird no harm. Only it dropped a golden feather from its tail and then flew away. The golden feather was brought to the king in the morning, and all the council was called together. The council is probably a group of people that makes decisions, maybe who advise the king, who give him advice. Everyone agreed that it was worth more than all the wealth of the kingdom. It was worth more. Its value was higher than all the wealth of the kingdom. But the king said, "One feather is of no use to me. I must have the whole bird." So, is of no use, it's not useful. No reason to have it. It is of no use. I must have the whole bird, not just the feather. Then the gardener's eldest son, in this case eldest son set out and thought to find the golden bird very easily. He set out, like he went out. He decided to, he started this journey. He set out and thought to find the golden bird very easily. And when he had gone but a little way, gone a short amount of distance, but a little way, he came to a wood, and by the side of the wood he saw a fox sitting. So he took his bow and made ready to shoot at it. Got ready. He made ready to shoot at it. Then the fox said, "Do not shoot me, for I will give you good counsel." Counsel, advice, clues, tips. I will give you good counsel. I know what your business is, and that you want to find the golden bird. You will reach a village in the evening, and when you get there, you will see two inns opposite to each other. So one inn is here looking this way, one inn is here looking this way. They're opposite to each other. One of which is very pleasant and beautiful to look at. One of the inns. One of which is very pleasant and beautiful to look at. Go not in there. Go not, old-sounding way of saying don't go. Go not in there, but rest for the night in the other, though it may appear to you to be very poor and mean. So don't go in the beautiful one, but go in the other one, the one that looks terrible, that looks, garbage. But the son thought to himself, "What can such a beast as this know about the matter? Such a beast as this, like a beast like this, such a beast as this." Beast, wild animal. "What can such a beast as this know about the matter?" So he shot his arrow at the fox. Okay, so a talking fox gives you some advice, and your immediate response is to shoot an arrow at it. Okay, so he shot an arrow at the fox, but he missed it, and it set up its tail above its back and ran into the wood. It set its tail above its back. I guess it lifted its tail. It raised its tail above its back and ran into the wood. Wood here, I'm guessing it's like basically a forest, but maybe, for me, wood, we normally hear woods, and it's like not quite as big as a forest, not as many trees, but maybe similar. Then he went his way. So the son, the eldest son, the gardener's eldest son, he went his way, and in the evening came to the village where the two inns were. So he showed up. At night he showed up, in the evening. And in one of these, people were singing, dancing, and feasting. A feast is a lot of food. So feasting is eating a huge amount of food, tons and tons of food. So people were singing, dancing, and feasting in one of these inns. But the other looked very dirty and poor. "I should be very silly," said he, "if I went to that shabby house and left this charming place. I should be very silly." Another interesting use of should. Again, in America, probably we'd say, "I would be." Hypothetically, I would be very silly. But old-sounding should, throw it everywhere. It can be might. It can be would. "I should be very silly," he said. He said, poetic, said he, "if I went to that shabby house." Shabby is, again, poor quality. Not good. "If I went to that shabby house and left this charming place." So he went into the smart house. American English, smart, is normally intelligence, but here it's British English, I'm guessing, or older English. And so it looks good. It's not shabby. He went into the smart house and ate and drank at his ease. At his ease, as much as he wanted, at his comfort. He ate and drank at his ease and forgot the bird, and his country too. So, what has happened so far? King's got some apples. King's got a great garden. He's got some apples. Apples go missing. As a king, because you have to have everything under your control, under your power, you need to watch the apples. Why is my apple missing every morning, or one of them? So he makes the gardener watch. The gardener delegates the task to his sons. And the night you watch, shoots an arrow at a golden bird, gets a golden feather. King's like, "This feather, I don't need this. I want the whole bird." And now they're trying to get the whole bird. And the oldest son of the gardener goes to get it. He finds a talking fox, immediately tries to kill it after receiving some advice from the fox. Somehow sees the exact situation that this talking animal has told him about. Still doubts it. Still doubts the fox's advice. And instead of staying in the broken down, horrible inn or hotel that the fox told him to, decides to stay in that cool, pretty hotel where people are just like having a great time. So we'll leave it there for this part, and I hope to see you again here on Hedgie English to continue with The Golden Bird by the Brothers Grimm in Grimm's Fairy Tales. Thanks for watching.